What's up YouTube, Dave here. Today I'm going to be giving you a video review of Ice Cream Sandwich, also known as Android 4.0, the newest version of Android. So my Galaxy Nexus here is running Android version 4.0.2, which I'll show you in a moment. Go my settings, about phone, and as you can see here, 4.0.2. 4.0.3 was announced, but I never got the update yet, so I don't know. Hopefully it will come by me soon. But anyway, let's get started in this review. With Ice Cream Sandwich, a lot of things has changed with Android. As you can see, it's gone with the whole black and green look that was in Gingerbread, and now we have a bit of a light bluish with black look, which, in my opinion, it looks a lot nicer. So, again, it's just preference. As you also see, there's a Google search bar that's accessible at the top. No matter what home screen you're at, is always up there. It does take up a bit of screen real estate, but I do a lot of Google searching anyway, so I like having it there. You also see that the 4 standard Android buttons are officially gone now, which were home, back, menu, and search. Gone with the menu and search button, and we have a back, home, and a new multitask button, which was previously accessible by holding down home. But now it's built in, now it has its own dedicated button, and has a honeycomb look, which is Android 3.0 or 3.x, whatever you want to call it. And there are also some minor changes as well, such as the app drawer here. Instead of scrolling up and down like we did in previous versions, now we actually scroll side to side. As you can see, there's a nice little transition here, things fading in and out, and also there's a widget, and the widgets are now accessible by the app drawer instead of holding down the home screen like we did previously. So let's talk about some things I like about Ice Cream Sandwich, starting with these software buttons. As you can, these aren't, let me lock the screen. As you see, they're not capacitive buttons. These buttons are actually part of the screen, as you can see here. So what do I think about them? Honestly, I like them. The Galaxy Nexus, as you can tell, it has a really big screen, a 4.65-inch screen. Normally, a screen that big would cause me problems because my hands aren't gigantic, so I assume to be a little comfortable. But because there's a lack of capacitive buttons and replaced with software buttons, sorry about that, it actually does take up a bit of screen real estate, and it actually makes the device feel more comfortable because there's not as much room being taken up by buttons or whatever, giving more room for the screen and cameras and stuff. And of course, when you're watching videos such as YouTube or Netflix, you automatically get like full advantage of the 4.65-inch screen. So these software buttons aren't always there, so they will disappear when necessary. Another thing I like are the changes to the folders. As you can see, I have a couple folders here on my home screen. As you can see, they're more visual, and you actually could tell what's inside them now. Because in previous versions, they were like manila folders, they were kind of plain and I guess, in a word, boring. Of course, but now folders are a lot simpler to make. For example, I'll take one app, just drag in front of another, makes a folder. Borrowed from iOS, I believe, but again, just speculating. But I like the way folders are now. They're easier to make instead of just having to hold down the home screen like previously and choosing folder and dragging apps back and forth. It's just a lot more fluid now, and it just makes it a lot more productive. Now let's talk about the keyboard. Let me open up a new message. Just let me move the phone away from the screen for the camera. Sorry. And here we have the keyboard. It's pretty spacious, probably thanks to the giant screen it has. Sorry, let it focus. As you can see at the top row here, you have like normal punctuations, comma, question mark, exclamation point, colon, semicolon, for easy access at basically all times. So let's do a quick test. This is a test of the Galaxy Nexus. Oh wow, I can't spell Nexus. Nexus keyboard. Period. Obviously I'm not the best type. Sorry, let it focus. Obviously I'm not the best typer in the world, but again, autocorrect works really well. Word prediction also works pretty well. I like it in portrait mode or landscape mode. The keyboard, I had no problems with the keyboard at all. Again, having the punctuations up here took a little getting used to, But it was nothing like you can deal with like after a day, especially with me sending hundreds of text messages a day. At one point, I sent about 5,000 over 5,000 a month, which kind of shocked me. Now, one more thing I really want to talk about is the browsing experience. Let me go to my browser. Let that load. Sorry, I'm running on my own Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is kind of slow. One thing I want to show you are quick controls. By taking any finger from either side, left or right, and put and drag it onto the screen, you get these little quick controls, which gives you easy access to your tabs, your URL or search bar thingy, or your menu, such as so. I don't know, for me, this makes the browsing experience a lot more fluid and a lot quicker in my opinion. So, because on my previous phone, I had to like scroll all the way to the top to reach there, or press the menu button to access the URL bar. And now like no matter where I am on the home screen, just drag, there, done, simple. Same thing with tabs. Like instead of having to go to menu and select tabs, I could just go to quick controls, select my tabs. There we go. Add new tabs, add bookmark, even access the menu. Speaking of the menu button, I really do miss having that menu button that was originally down here, because without it, the menu button's kind of jumping all over the place. Like say, Engadget app here. See, the menu button would be down here at times, kind of cramped. For the browser, as I showed you earlier, it'll be up here on a separate bar. And on certain apps, it'll be another bar up here, and the menu button will be like right there where my thumb is pointing at. So it's jumping all over the place. It's really inconsistent. It's not that bad because it's always in one of those three spots and it's easy to find. But for people who like consistency in their operating system, I could see how that could be an annoyance. But for me, I'm used to it. But again, for other people, it could be a problem. Another thing, I sort of do miss having a dedicated search button. I didn't use it that often, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people didn't. But I don't know, it was kind of nice having it. But again, that's just a little nitpick of mine. Another thing I didn't really like, that was missing from Ice Cream Sandwich, is Facebook integration. Coming from the HTC Incredible, I was able to link Facebook contacts with my Google contacts and pull out pictures, birthdays, etc. Because there's no Facebook integration here, I don't really have that easy of an access to my Facebook contacts. I can still go to the dedicated Facebook app, obviously, and still get to them, but having integrated Facebook contacts just made it easier for me. Hopefully, Facebook will update the app, and we'll be able to get it onto the contacts list, like how Skype or Twitter's doing it, but until now, it's a bit of a pain to access Facebook contacts. Now, a pretty big problem I have with Ice Cream Sandwich is fragmentation. It's probably because Ice Cream Sandwich is fairly new, but a lot of apps don't work for it right now. Such to name a couple, Amazon Mobile or Urban Dictionary. Those apps like that, they'll force close, cause a bit of annoyance for me. But again, it's not really a problem with Ice Cream Sandwich itself, but more of a developer not updating their apps to be optimized for Ice Cream Sandwich. Again, I'm not blaming I shouldn't be blaming developers, because I imagine there's quite a bit of work to get an app optimized for a new operating system. But again, that problem will fix with time. Give it a few months, hopefully, maybe even a couple weeks. Fingers crossed and everything. Now, one last thing I didn't really like about Ice Cream Sandwich was something I touched on in a previous video, was the screen lock. I miss having the patterns, pin or password, whatever, that goes behind the slide. I like having the slide because it gives you easy access to, say, for example, here the camera. But for other but previous versions, it would be the silent / vibrate option. Sorry about that. But yeah, I miss having the slide, and after you do the slide, whatever, there will be a pattern lock. Again, I can see why they removed it for convenience, but I kind of wish they gave an option to have that back, because I do miss having that, that little extra security, but also having the convenience of this. Sure, that means when I go to camera, I have to do a pattern too, but what's the problem with low security, right? Again, that's just me nitpicking. So overall, Ice Cream Sandwich, really big improvement on Android as a whole. Especially for me jumping from gingerbread to Ice Cream Sandwich, since I never had a honeycomb tablet. But most of my problems of Ice Cream Sandwich are basically little nitpicks, minus the fragmentation with the apps. But again, that'll probably be fixed within time. So all in all, love using Ice Cream Sandwich. It makes Android feel a lot more smoother, a lot more polished, instead of a little buggy and rough as previous versions were. So yeah, Ice Cream Sandwich, big thumbs up. A great addition to the whole Android lineup of desserts. Anyways, that's pretty much it for me. So talk to you guys later. Peace.